Just setting up the live stream, won't be long. Okay, so we are back in the Cessna 182Q that comes with Flight Simulator, or is available in Flight Simulator, I should say. And we're going to go for a flight around the newly updated Denver in Colorado that was included in City Update number 10 for the simulator. So let's go and have a quick look around the airplane. I think I've actually already done everything mostly that we need to do today, but we're just going to go and give everything a wiggle on the way around the airplane, make sure nothing falls off. It's all looking good so far. The weather looks absolutely beautiful outside, so yeah, Denver is going to be a bit nicer than it was in Dallas. It's going to be really hot probably. So we've had a walk around the airplane and we can go and jump inside. Go and see how much fuel we've got. Let's go and fill the airplane up, shall we? Flight performance, mass and balance, fuel, and yeah, we'll give it 70%. Load that in the airplane. So just before we do get going, it'd be worth having a look. So I'm just going to close that browser so I haven't got too many windows open. We're going to have a little look at the route we're going to fly. So I'm not sure if I can get this route into Navigraph. Let's try it. Oh. So we need to go to flight plan, copy the route to the clipboard, and then paste it in here. And it should, fingers crossed, if we just get rid of that bit and go wallop. It's done it. Fantastic. So you can see the basic route. We're going to start off up here at the Erie Municipal Airport. Then we're going to fly down over the Denver Rocky Mountain Metro Airfield. Then we're going to go up to the edge of the mountains and loop back in. There's some nice ground features around here. Then come in towards Denver City Center. And then we're going to go off and loop around. There's a couple of waypoints missing actually here. So yeah, there's a waypoint down here that it doesn't have in Navigraph, which is typical of Navigraph really. It often doesn't have some of the extra waypoints. Anyway, so we're going to go around the outside of the city, back out towards Denver International and go and have a nosy around Denver International, which has been recreated accurately in the simulator. And then fly across the northern edge of Denver and then towards Boulder. And the reason to go to Boulder is the Boulder Dam. So we're going to fly along the river. So what's the river called, by the way? Boulder Canyon Drive. That's a road, obviously, though, but not... There's a river alongside it, isn't there? And the map won't zoom in far enough. Anyway, we're going to carry on all the way through at the lowest elevation we can because we're going to be pushing the Cessna, really, for its altitude limits along here. So we're looking for a low point on the way through, and then we're going to navigate through to Granby, which is a little airfield in the mountains. So we'll see both Denver and some of the mountains near Denver. So I've got a comment on the YouTube channel asking, it's quite a good question actually, do you agree or disagree that 2020 still holds up the standard still, or do you think it is out of date? I'm going to give a slightly different answer to that question than you might expect. I think both simulators are good. The newer simulator requires newer hardware to run well because it's newer. It's been developed with newer hardware in mind. It will still run on the older hardware. Both simulators are good. You can have fun with both simulators just as you could with P3D or anything else. Or X-Plane or DCS, they are all good simulators. And so for different people with different means even, that can factor into it as well. I wouldn't say any of them are old as such. You know, obviously some of them were built to match the hardware that was available a few years ago. But things are moving on. And if you have the means to be able to operate the latest version of Flight Simulator, it is a huge step up from anything that's come before in terms of functionality. But that doesn't make it any more fun or less fun than anything else. They are all good, and fun can be had with all of them. So anyway, I think I've answered that question now and killed the question. So we will go and we've got the cowl flaps open. We're going to go and open the fuel shutoff valve. We're going to go and set the mixture to rich, put the propeller to max RPM, crack the throttle open, and turn the battery and alternator on. Go and put the beacon light on this time, do it the right way around, and turn the engine over. And we have an engine. Okay, so avionics can come on. We can aim for, if we're going to do this properly, which we may as well for a change, we'll go and aim for 1000 RPM. So we're just looking at the RPM gauge over there. And then the engine warm up, letting the oil temperature and cylinder head temperatures come up. Oil pressure looks good already. The fuel is looking great. So waiting for the GPS to come on, we'll go and put the transponder on standby. It's already on standby. We'll calibrate the altimeter, so we're just over 5,000 feet altitude. We will also, so the directional gyro does drift in this aeroplane, so you do need a keyboard mapping to be able to fix that, because there's nothing in the aeroplane to do it. So we'll just go and OK the GPSs. So we're going to use a bit of a trick to get the route into the aeroplane. So we're going to go over to the flight planner and load the flight plan. I've previously saved it. So we've got our Denver flight plan in here, and there's all the waypoints. So if we go back, we can now see in here the basic route. It's got that waypoint missing as well, by the way. Look, so it's missing it. It's got a waypoint that was in LittleNavMap that's not in here. You can see lots of AI aeroplanes in the neighbourhood. They're just coming straight from Flight Simulator itself. So we may see them. They're probably all at high altitude, I would imagine, or parked up. So the advantage of doing this, of course, is we can scroll down and send that to the avionics. And then we get our route in here when it wakes up. So give it a few seconds. The GPS should have fired up. Here it comes. Yeah, we got the route look straight away, which is good. And we'll change this to the first page of the page group, which gives us the numbers for the next waypoint. So you get the track and the distance, and you should get estimated time en route will light up once we're moving. Okay, so taxi light on. Just checking around, make sure I haven't forgotten anything too obvious. Put the yoke back on, maybe. So let's have a look at the airfield. We've got 9 knots coming out of the north, so we're going to turn an immediate right turn and then left out onto the runway. So it helps if you press the right buttons to make things happen in the aeroplane, doesn't it? Turning very carefully. He says famous last words as I managed to lock the nose wheel. And it's just come unlocked. There we go. Because we're having to deal with the thin air up here, aren't we? We're already at 5,000 feet, so to deal with that we need to go and pull the mixture back. So this is a stock airfield, obviously, that's not tremendously well done, and you can see the close-up. So this just goes to prove, actually, the photogrammetry comes all the way out here. Oh, actually, just thinking about this, let's go. We want all of the runway. Thin air, remember? So we're not going to be able to play any games with short fields here. We're going to have long takeoff runs. So yeah, unfortunately, this is what photogrammetry looks like close up. It's not, it fools the eye from a couple of thousand feet completely, but once you get too close to it, it gives itself away. So someone's saying the weather isn't accurate. Let's go and have a look. So I've got live weather on. So this is what Meteo Blue is sending down basically to the simulator. But then we are north of Denver at the moment. Once we get out to the city, which is quite a way away, mind, I'm kind of 20 miles away at the moment. It's a huge city. The suburbs are enormous and we'll be flying across them. So we'll get to see along the way. So we've just got the Common Traffic Advisory frequency here, I think, at Erie. So let's go and check that on Say Intentions. So we're Erie Municipal Airport, so there is a departure frequency though. Interesting. So should we try it? Normally we've got CTAF, but we've got ramp as well actually. Erie ramp. Cessna Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo, radio check please. Maybe not. Let's try departures. Erie departures, Cessna Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo requesting departure. Let's see if they come back.
Cessna Bravo Echo Kilo, unable to assist with departure from the air. Please contact tower once airborne, or if picking up an IFR clearance, I can assist.
Okay, yeah, so they're only doing IFR. That's pretty normal. Okay. So we'll just go to CTAF anyway. This is only a tiny little airport. It's, a hangar and a strip of runway and some houses. So we're just on the Common Traffic Advisory frequency. Coming up to 60 knots. I'm going to get a bit faster than I normally would. So begin to rotate. Close the cowl flaps. So yeah, look, we're not making much more above 80 knots, and we really are going to have to be careful during this flight. So we shouldn't have problems with manifold pressure at altitude. We should be fine. Just go for it on the throttle. This scenery is incredible though, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to start a gentle left turn. Oh, we could talk to centre and go for that's a good point actually. We could go to centre and just ask for flight following. Denver Center, Cessna Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo, 3 miles northwest of Erie, requesting flight following.
Cessna Bravo Echo Kilo, squawk 2445 and ident.
This is the problem with head tracking, by the way. So, turn this on. Again, 2445, wasn't it? He was asking for. And ident.
Cessna Bravo Echo Kilo, radar contact. Over Laners Hayfield Airport at 6400 feet. Heading 184, Lafayette altimeter 29.901.
There we go. We have flight following, so they're just going to keep track of us. So if we pass on to different controllers, areas, well, just give us somebody to talk to along the way, really. Keep us a little bit honest. So I'm just coming back down towards...
Cessna Bravo Echo Kilo, Erie Airport at your 10 o'clock, 2 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Radar services terminated. Squawk VFR. So long.
Looks like they don't want to track us after all. It's because I didn't tell them where we're going. Radar services terminated. Cessna Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo. Good day. So we are going to go and switch over to
Cessna Bravo Echo Kilo, roger. Radar.
Yeah, he's just confirming it. There is a bit of a glitch there with the understanding of if you confirm a closing statement, it will often repeat it back to you. But it's not a big issue. I could have just come back with good day. So we're slowly coming back down. I'm going to make my way over towards the hills and then in towards the city because I want to see some of the suburbs along the way. So what we'll do, I'm just trimming the aeroplane out a little bit. So it's 7,000 feet, which is probably good enough. So autopilot on. Altitude. 7,000, and we'll go for nav mode. We're probably close enough. Yep, we are. So it's just capturing the GPS track. So we're just going to scoot past. We're going for the VOR at the edge of this airfield, and then we're carrying on. Almost in a straight line. So let's go and make sure we've got taxi lights back off. We haven't got nav lights on, have we? Pitot heat probably isn't needed, but we can put it on. So we get to have a little look at the scenery as we go rumbling past. So this airfield we're just passing, if you have a look on the map, is Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airfield. So the Sim channel is asking, is Say Intentions a one-time charge or do you have to pay for it monthly? Depends what service you want. If you want all the bells and all the whistles with all the ATC and the different voices and everything, then it's a subscription. But that does mean you could pull out, if you're not using it, then you can stop paying for it. But there are free services, and they are introducing more free services as time goes on. So some of the extra capabilities of Say Intentions beyond ATC is only the first thing it does. It does a lot more. So the upcoming features, the first one obviously is Skynet, which is where it will take over from the multiplayer and the simulator. So if you're flying with a gang of friends, and it will all be free for Skynet as far as I understand, As long as you're running the same intentions client, it will be able to inject each other into each other's simulators and block out other people that you don't want involved, so you can't get people ruining your sessions. The great thing about Skynet is it will work in 2020 and 2024 immediately when they launch it. It may already be out, actually, Skynet, but there's other stuff coming down the pipe which I accidentally showed yesterday and I shouldn't have, because it's still in development. They're going to be doing in the future traffic injection, so they'll be looking at the traffic patterns of scheduled flights and injecting them into the simulator for you, but the major trick being the ATC will take account of them. So if you're flying an IFR flight and you're coming into a busy airport, you will get sequenced in with everybody else. It won't be an exact copy of real-world traffic because that would keep the airspaces too busy. So it will be a flavour of the real scheduled flights. But yeah, if you're flying the big jets, it's going to be an absolute game-changing experience to be able to hear the other airplanes that you can see around you talking, to hear ATC talking to them, and to obviously operate within the airspace properly. So as you can see, we're flying down towards the hill line here, the edge of the mountains. Isn't it interesting, once you see the AI built scenery, how different it is to the photogrammetry scenery? So this is half the reason I came out here, so you can cross that border of where the photogrammetry runs out and the AI scenery takes over. And yes, it's very crisp and clean, but it doesn't look as real. Just going to move my microphone slightly. So, as I mentioned on, I think, yesterday's live stream, I have been to Denver once in my life. We flew over to visit my uncle when I was very young. We flew into Dallas, and another flight from Dallas to Denver, and then Denver to Grand Junction. So let's just go and check this. So we're about to make our left turn, hopefully just before the tree line. So there's a quarry down here, look. And we can get the left turn right now, please. I thought I had planned it correctly, but there you go. It's doing it. So we are scooting up the side of the hills here. We've just gone past Ralston Reservoir, and we're now heading along towards North Table Mountain Park West Trailhead. So there's Table Mountain, I'm guessing. It is really flat on top, isn't it? And then we're going to go back in towards the city and go exploring Denver. Foothills of the Rockies, yeah, I should have pointed that out actually. This is the Rocky Mountains behind us. We're going to be heading off into them soon, well, after we've had a look around Denver, because we're going to go and follow through the Boulder Dam and along the valley there. So you can see, yeah, our way out is a bit further north than where we are at the moment. So, Canyon Point. So this is Golden, this place is called. Should put the head tracking on, because then I can actually look around and not particularly follow the aeroplane. So you can see we have photogrammetry all of a sudden instead of AI generated, and it looks a lot better. So we've got a huge industrial plant down here. So if you want to know, just looking at live stream costings, the all-in costs for Say Intentions, just go to sayintentions.ai on the internet. They have got new offers appearing all the time, so I don't want to go and say anything on a video that will be out of date within a few weeks or months. So if you just go to sayintentions.ai, you can get a free trial for 24 hours, I think, so you can try everything. So set it for a weekend or something, you know, get set up and give it a whole day of playing with it to see if you like it. So you can see the city out in the distance in front of us. So I haven't got the chase plane. It's not available for 2024 yet. So yeah, if anybody's keeping track of the live stream conversation, they're asking about the chase plane product from Parallel 42. It is not out for 2024 yet. But when it does come out, it looks like it's going to be very good. When this works well, it's fantastic, isn't it? It just looks real. But yeah, so just getting back to Say Intentions, they are doing so much stuff at the moment. They are so busy coming up with new products, new functionality all the time within, you know, the client software. It's just amazing, some of the stuff they're doing. On their promo reel that's on their website at the moment, showing what they showcased recently, they show a clip of an aircraft coming into Oshkosh and being directed onto a coloured dot on the runway. So they're obviously playing games with that, ready to host Oshkosh, which I think will be fantastic fun. So also people are asking about the eye tracking. I'm using the Tobii Eye Tracker, but I have actually turned the eye tracking off. So I'm only using the head tracking part of it. So I kind of use the angle of my head to direct the camera on purpose to give you a nice view. Unfortunately, that does mean as I talk, it tends to make it bobble a little bit sometimes. So it's not maybe as stable as it might be, but that's just because my mouth's moving around. So let's go and turn the autopilot off now. And we're going to descend down towards Denver and have a look around the city together. So should we start with the stadium? So I don't know Denver at all well. I know little bits about things like the Denver Broncos. So I imagine, is this the Broncos stadium we're approaching? So, do you need the octopus thing for Tobii? No, the Tobii is a tiny strip of plastic that goes on the bottom of your monitor, and that's all there is to it. It watches your face from its vantage point. So you don't have to strap anything to your head, you don't have to have any special stand for it. It comes with a sticky plate to just stick it to the bottom of the monitor. Yeah, that's the Broncos Stadium, isn't it? I'm looking at the paint on the pitch though, they obviously have other sports they play there as well. pretty well done, isn't it? That's a hell of a car park at the Broncos Stadium. Not enough traffic on I-25. Yeah, it does look a bit sparse, doesn't it? I can't imagine what these junctions must be like on game days when all the families are coming in towards the sports ground. Okay, let's carry on then. Getting a bit slow. But overall though, the traffic, the road layouts are done better than Dallas, look. That's really nicely done, isn't it? With all the traffic going all different directions, and there's no levitating cars either. Very, very good. The only major problem with the Tobii Eye Tracker at the moment is because of all the mayhem going on in the US, the cost of it for American buyers has gone through the roof. Because obviously the various import taxes going on. Which of course the cost is being obviously handed straight onto the consumer. That building's very nicely done down there, isn't it? I'm sure if anybody local is watching this, they'll be able to name the various buildings that we're passing by as we circle the city. So I'll do a couple of laps. Should we jump back to the aeroplane? I'm not going to get political talking about the stuff on the about the tariffs. I'm going to stay out of it, and I'd appreciate it if people didn't get into it as well. I know you haven't, which is great. Someone's saying it looks like they cleaned the plane since yesterday. It's getting mucky again though, look. A few flies have bit the dust again already. The resolution is very good, isn't it? See the various building names, and you can even see the coolers on the roofs. So let's go down to the baseball field then. See if we can circle it fairly closely. So I'm just keeping an eye on the airspeed. I've cut the throttle right back, so we're essentially gliding. It's probably not much use using flaps over Denver because the air is so thin at these sort of altitudes. It's not much use. Airspeed is your friend. That looks amazing, doesn't it? So that's probably a 3D asset that's been dropped in, but such is the quality of the photogrammetry these days, it fits right in. That is awesome, isn't it? Let's to make sure I'm not about to slam into a building. That's an interesting point someone's making in the live stream about why don't they fill the stadiums up. Yeah, we're getting a bit slow. Why don't they fill the stadiums up with people on a periodic basis? Trouble is, where do you stop? If they did that, there'd be something else that people would expect it to do. Oh, look at the railway terminals here. It's awesome, isn't it? So accurate and so detailed. And all the platforms and the gantries. It's ridiculous. It really is. I ought to be really careful. I'm in amongst, yeah, we're at building level now. So we'll try and go down through the middle here. And look out. I have to try and have eyes in the back of my head to do this. Let's go and have a look at the churches. Whoa, there's one right under us. It's amazing, isn't it, what they're capable of doing with photogrammetry now. Really is something else. Okay, so I keep turning left and that will take us out towards the southwest corner of Denver, and then we'll carry on around having a look at the scenery along the way. So I'm just coming back out towards my GPS track. It's very clever, isn't it? Okay, turn left. Do not pass go, do not click 200. Trim the plane out. We're at about 6,400 feet. So let's ask it for 6.5. And it should level us out. So it's just coming up. It should take out the vertical speed now, and it's doing it. Great. So that means we can relax. So let's have a look at where the route's going to take us next. So we've just scribbled all over the centre of Denver. And we're flying out now past Lakewood out towards Dakota Ridge. So for anybody that lives out this way or knows this area, this is your chance to get a look at it in the sim. I'll leave the camera there at this sort of angle. Here's the 172, a default aircraft. This is not the 172. This is the 182Q that was released by Coronado. I believe it was given away within the simulator. This Cessna does have an autopilot, so Peter's saying there's no autopilot. That's what I'm using right here. It's an old 1980s autopilot set. It connects with the Garmin GNS 530, which you can see here, and I've got that all programmed in with our route today. So you can see there's our route. And we got messages coming up on it. It's all very manual, but that's kind of charming, I think. Anyway, so let's see where the photogrammetry runs out and where the AI takes over. This is half the reason for going and looking around the suburbs, just to have a look. So this is still photogrammetry all the way out here. You can tell pretty quickly, just by looking at commercial buildings usually, when it turns into... I wonder if this is still photogrammetry out here. The thunder's coming from the game. There's obviously thunder rolling from somewhere. So the clouds are... There's certainly something going on. It may be from out there, look, and just rumbling across the plain. Or it could be the other side of the hills there and rumbling across. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're almost down to Dakota Ridge. So we've got Bear Creek Lake Park on the right over here. Which must be here, look. So lots of trails. It's a busy junction. And the water we're just approaching is Harriman Lake Park. So this is Columbine we're about to pass in a moment, but we're going to be making the turn at West Gold Meadows apparently. So we're way out in the southwest corner of the Denver metropolitan area, out over the bordering communities. And this is still all photogrammetry, all this way out here. That's incredible. Okay, so we've got a slight difference here in the plan in that this waypoint was not in the plan. So we're going to be shortcutting straight across past Englewood and Cherry Creek State Park. So the water here we're about to pass is Marston Lake. Yeah, so this is all being streamed. I have fibre to the house, by the way, so that's why I never have problems with streaming stuff. I didn't used to, and I used to have the same problems everybody else did. But I got fibre to the house about, I don't know, 18 months ago now, 2 years. It changed the experience of flight sim for me, completely. And obviously 2024 relies upon it. So someone's saying the trees are awful. It very much depends whereabouts you are in the world. Around the photogrammetry areas, the trees tend to be quite poor because they are a mixture of proper trees and lumps that the photogrammetry hasn't quite understood are trees or hedges or whatever. But from a couple of thousand feet, it makes no difference. You can't see it. This really comes down to what we were talking about yesterday on the Dallas flight, that people will fixate on a particular thing that the simulator maybe hasn't done right, and it's like, you know, a piece of road furniture or something near their house which is poorly rendered, and they'll claim the entire simulator is rubbish because of it. Whereas I tend to ignore that which I don't want to spend too much time worrying about. taken as a whole, I still think the simulator is spectacular. It really is something else. So what's this place here we're just passing? Pirates Cove Water Park. We just passed over there. So it must be a theme park of some description. And then right off our right wing now, there's a lot of commercial buildings basically. So out across the countryside we can see some features out ahead of us. I wonder what they might be. There's another lake, so the Cherry Creek Reservoir we were talking about is over here. The way the simulator tends to render things and the distance it can do it to is just ridiculous. There's a lot of sleight of hand going on, especially with the tree rendering, but it is so efficient at doing it. So here we go, there's a football ground we're about to fly over. So who's this then? The Spartans. So I'm guessing this is a college we're flying over. Let's have a little look. Southmore Park. It's not obvious, it's not marked on the map very obviously, is it, where that was. So Hyatt Regency Denver Tech Center. So that's off to that side of us. So that's the Denver Tech Center over there. Interesting. I wonder who's based over there then. What IT companies are based in Denver? Okay, so Cherry Creek Reservoir is right here. So we're right on the outskirts of the city. Cutting back through in a few minutes. So we're just going out across to the eastern side, out to the VOR. Then we're going to go and scoot around Denver International Airport. So Buckley Air Force Base is coming up on the left in a moment. I'm guessing that's it out over here. There's the radar. You can see the radar from here, look. The radomes. So does that imply that they've actually modelled the Air Force Base accurately, or is that just the surroundings of it, the photogrammetry has picked up the radar installations? There's some more the other side, look. That's interesting. There's some more over there. So we're about to get shot down because we're going to fly over the US Air Force Base. I guess if we head... No, I'm just saying, I'm just thinking if we were to turn early, we could go and have a look at the radar stations rather than fly around the airfield. But they're not marked on here, are they? No. Oh, come on, let's go and have a look. What's the point of being here if we can't do these things? So, autopilot off. I'm guessing they're radar stations, but we'll find out when we get there. There's 3 on that side. There's another 4 of them in the middle of the field. So what's based at Denver from the Air Force? I wonder if we can see any silhouettes on the ground. They're usually pretty good at cleaning stuff like that up though, aren't they? The AI that they use to clean up the airfields is usually very good at it. So the likelihood of seeing any decent silhouettes on the ground is very low. Yeah, look at this. You wouldn't want to live too near those, would you? You get irradiated. Probably got their own substations under the ground to power them. Anyway, now we've had a look, we've satisfied our curiosity. There's another sport ground down there. Okay, we have to see what that is in the middle of that car park. Is it just a... I think it's a random pattern that looked like it might be a picture from a distance, but it's not. Okay. So we want to head north, don't we? Go towards the airfield. Denver International. And that's it over there, I think. It's like the size of any normal city, but it's just the airfield. So we'll put autopilot on. We'll turn the heading bug to the direction we're going. We'll put heading mode on. And as you can see, we are heading directly for Denver International Airport, which is gigantic. Look at all these. Is this Amazon warehouses by any chance? Costco, Amazon. Where else can we dream up that would be this sort of logistics? Is there anything on the map about it? No. Oh, it's Amazon. An Airbus training centre. Yeah, it's Amazon. That's a lot of warehouses, isn't it? That's crazy. Okay. We're getting closer to Denver International. The colossus that is Denver. Look at these houses. Thousands and thousands of houses. Does the nighttime lighting update for the areas? Good question. Let's go and try it. So if we just go custom on this and wind the time back. So they've got street lights. Cool, isn't it? obviously the airfield has its lights as it should. All the traffic on the roads will have their headlights. Okay, let's go back to real time. Whoa, that burnt our eyeballs out. Look at the car parks for the airport. How many cars? That's craziness. And it's still drawing more load on demand as we get there. So I'm going to go jump back in the aeroplane now. And we'll turn the autopilot off. I don't think my fellow pilot is too impressed with my antics, to be honest. So let's go and have a close look, because I think this is going to be modelled really, really well. It's making it more and more detailed the closer we get. Just keeping on the airspeed. Obviously the road is a bit of a disaster, but the building itself is really done well. Sim is struggling, isn't it, throwing all this stuff around. There's car parks. Let's turn back around again. Go and circle the tower, shall we? Go and see if we can see the staff in there. I'm sure someone's going to come out with the Top Gun line at any moment. Yeah, I don't think they've modelled any staff inside the tower. And we're getting a bit slow. It's quite a busy airport though, isn't it? Look, with the AI traffic trundling around on the ground. Okay, so we'll fly off down towards the other end of the airfield and then we'll make our exit. So there's some service hangars down here for Southwest and Frontier by the look of it. And someone's taxiing's gone a bit wrong. So that looks like a bit of a glitch going on there. Either that or it's two people having some fun. Nope, they're AI aircraft. and their AI isn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe they're sending themselves off to the boneyard to be ripped up. It's a condor plane, isn't it, with the stripes? Perhaps he just wanted to go and jump in the... Maybe that is the boneyard. Unless that's the fuel tank farm and they're going to refuel. Who knows? Right then. We're going to do a left turn and rejoin the GPS track out towards Boulder. And the mountains. So, autopilot back on, nav mode on to follow the GPS track, and we've got it set for 6,500 feet, so yeah, should we let it do that? So if we go in here and tell it to climb at 500 feet a minute until it gets to 6,500. And we can just watch the view again. So it's just reacquiring the GPS track. So if we go and look on the map now, you can see we had our fun looping around the airfield and we're on our way out now towards the northern edge of the Denver greater metropolitan area, I guess. And then going to jump across to Boulder and then follow the trailhead into the Rockies. If you look behind us, you'll see Denver International disappearing. Got the old rotary watering systems for the fields, haven't they? Irrigation. Traffic on the freeway. It's very clever, isn't it? Is that lightning that just came down there? I didn't hear it. There's no cloud up there. Okay, so let's have a look at the map. We're going via the Helby waypoint and then crossing over to some custom waypoints. So we'll loosely follow E470, the Northwest Parkway. Across the top of the city, you'll see it over there. It is, look, zooming across the landscape. So while I have the opportunity, while we're still on our way to the Rockies, I'm going to go and grab a quick coffee. We're about to pass the airfield where we took off before we head into the mountains. So I'm going to grab a coffee. Hopefully I'll get it and be back before we get to the Rockies. See you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I'm just having a swig of coffee though, so please excuse me. The airfield we took off from earlier. I think that might be the airfield we took off from. Yeah, Erie Municipal. So we're heading towards Boulder, which is just down here. I think my many-storied uncle worked on the Boulder City Dam for a while. So yeah, we're going to need to start climbing fairly soon, but I've charted the route through the hills, so if we go and look here on the elevation plot, we're going to need to climb to about 10,000 feet all in, so should we start doing that now? So let's go for 10.5 and start telling it at 500 feet a minute. So we should, with a bit of luck, be able to do this without actually doing any death-defying flying. Okay, so we have a golf course down here. Let's stop the climb for the moment and just go for 7,000. And we'll climb any more as we need to. I don't think we'll need much more than this. It's the tiny details that always impress me with the simulator, like, you know, down the back of the fascia and the vents and the screws and the patterns and the screw heads. It's just incredible, really. And the texture, it's just, yeah, it's stunning. Ripples in the material where screws have been put in. The sanding marks on the wood. heard some more thunder again. I think somebody's been watching Top Gun Maverick a bit too often in the comments there. So, excuse me, we're coming in via this route here. Hopefully the route will become very obvious the closer we get, and I'll be able to just follow it in the aeroplane. So let's go back in the aeroplane, get ourselves sorted out with our positioning, and turn the autopilot off, and we'll hand fly. But we'll go and turn head tracking on, so we can look out the window and enjoy the amazing scenery. So this is all still photogrammetry, look, all the way out here. Colorado. That's going to be the Boulder, whatever the team is that plays out of Boulder. Yeah, we don't need all this height, we could go a lot lower. So we actually don't want to be this side, do we? We want to be over that side to follow the route that I wanted. Better. We'll have the occasional look, and we got the GPS to help us, of course. So let's get a bit lower down into these trees. We've got plenty of time later to climb. So welcome to the Rocky Mountains. Should we follow the road? This is one of the huge boons of head tracking, is that I can keep the camera fairly level for you just by tilting my head around. Road is still down there, looks snaking through the the landscape. That rock could really ruin your day, couldn't it? I'm going to start climbing just in case the road goes into a tunnel, which I think it might. Because we haven't got much room to turn around if we get too low into here and we turn a corner and the road suddenly goes into the mountainside. we might be okay. Can you imagine driving this route? It's stunning, isn't it? Yeah, we're gonna have to start being careful. We have not got enough airspeed to do this. That was far too dangerous. So I'm going to have to straight line this now and hope for the best. No more sightseeing, just looking at instruments and making it as smooth and steady as we can to get the last few turns. Should be okay. Yeah, we're just about going to make it look. That was a bit hairy for a moment there. Just going for the smoothest, most gentle movements possible so we don't stall the aeroplane. Because remember, we're in the thin air now, up above 8,000 feet. So we have to keep airspeed up. And we are struggling even to make 500 feet a minute. There's the road. I think we'll be okay. Phew. So this lake we're just approaching, let's have a look. Yeah, we're almost out, look. So the lake is the Barker Reservoir Recreation Area. Have I leaned out the mixture? Have you seen how far I've pulled the mixture? We're running on a tiny amount of fuel into the engine. It's almost all the way out, look. Cessnas don't like getting higher than about 10,000 feet, regardless of which model they are. You start to have to really manage the aeroplane properly, which I really haven't so far. We were busy hot dogging it through that valley of sort of, you know, the altitude was slowly climbing and we were only doing like 80 knots and it was starting to complain. And we're out of the photogrammetry, look. This is AI buildings now. I just thought it'd be nice to go and have a fly through the landscape though and see some of this, because it does look awesome, doesn't it? So we're coming up through 9,500 feet. We need oxygen masks soon. So I'm guessing in the winter, these are ski slopes. Looks that way, doesn't it? So we've got to clear that ridgeline. Now I think I've got a way. Yeah, we've gone slightly off track here. We should have been the other side of this hill. Hopefully it won't hurt us. Hopefully we can get back and there's no ridgeline, otherwise we may find ourselves circling back. I can have a look on the map as well, of course, but where's the fun in that? Yeah, and there is a ridgeline. Oh no. Can we get back from this side of the ridge? Whereabouts are we? Maybe over here. Yeah, we're the wrong side of this ridge. It's not far to get over the... Oh, look at the speed though, 75 knots. We're pushing it. So we're coming up at 700 feet a minute. We're getting near the edge of the envelope of the aeroplane. So I'm going to skim these trees and get down into the next valley where we want it to be. That's mad, isn't it? So we're supposed to be going along here though. We are going to have to unavoidably go over that ridge. So we may be here circling for a while. Yeah. So let's circle now. Before we get into too much trouble, we're going to go over this whole area in a huge circle climbing. So that's 11. 12. So I should say 10,000, 11,300 feet, 1,200 feet. Just eking the speed up and then trying to pick up the nose a little bit. A low, slow, or a consistent slow climb. And then we get over the ridge. He says as the nose suddenly picks up. Which way's the wind? So that's the way we want to be going, over that ridge, just there. That's the low point that I'd marked out on the map. I think we'll probably be able to make it now. Famous last words. We'll hold 500 feet a minute and see how we do. It's going to be close though, isn't it? Turning again. This is too close to call. So keep the climb rate just above 0. But keep turning. As soon as we turn, which way was the wind? 14 knots. We're just about to go downwind. But we're moving with the mass of air, so it shouldn't have any effect on us. But then it's rolling down the back of the hill behind us. So it's pulling us down. If we get further away from the hill, we'll be able to climb more easily. Yeah, look, we're being pulled down. We're nose up and going down because we're in the lee of the hill. Let's go out this way and then turn back again. So we're being dragged down by the air that's barreling over the mountain and pouring down the side. Yeah, well, look, we're picking up. We haven't changed attitude, but we're picking up climb rate again as we come out of the air. Or the downward moving air, I should say. Okay, let's turn back in towards the hill and see how we get on again. Doing a real job just holding altitude. I think we're okay now. We're holding speed in a gentle climb. So let's turn towards the ridge and hope for the best. Whoa! Look at that downdraft. This is a problem because the wind is coming from the other side of this ridge. So as it comes over the top, it's falling down this side and pulling things in it towards the floor. Which is why I'm giving ourselves more leeway than you would imagine, in case it really grabs us and forces us downwards. I think we're okay now, we're out of the worst of it. So we can get some speed back up. Hurrah! Excuse me. It's downhill all the way now. So that's the only panicky bit of the whole journey. So we can descend all day long. It's pretty high altitude, isn't it, around here? Snow on the peaks. Okay, let's get the autopilot back on then. So what's the altitude of the place we're going? 8,000 feet, so we'll set this to come down to 9,000 at 500 feet a minute. can just do it nice and steadily. All these trails. Stop panicking. This is the normal game area, just responding to the comments there. So this area hasn't been updated. This is just standard flight sim scenery. Out of the box, world scenery. I just saw another streak of lightning. I think there's a bit of a bug going on with the weather today. Okay, so we're heading in towards Granby County. So let's have a look on the radio. It's only got Unicom, so same as CTAF basically. So it's not a controlled airfield, so we don't need to talk to ATC. I might have to get involved here because this hill looks like it's on a descent path. Oh, maybe not. We might get away with it. Just keep an eye on it. Maybe we will hold the altitude at the height we're at and then descend further once we get past the hill. So you should see the runway is coming on the map. According to this, we are 2 minutes 50 seconds away. It's 6 and a bit miles in front of us, behind this ridge. Look at the state of this aeroplane. Look at the mess on the leading edge of the rudder. Oh my word. Can we get the sponges out when we get back? It's a bit messy. It's been through the wars a little bit today. Flying around Denver and then around the Rockies. There's the airfield right in front of us. So let's go and head tracking on. And turn the autopilot back off. And we'll take our aeroplane into Denver. So this has been a look at the, obviously earlier in the flight, the Sim or City Update 10, which includes Dallas, Denver and San Francisco and Hawaii as well actually. So I would imagine over the weekend I'll go and do a flight around the San Francisco Bay to take a proper look at the San Francisco update. And then maybe over the weekend we'll go out to Hawaii. I believe it's Honolulu that's been massively updated. So which way is the wind? Wind is coming in from, so we want to land runway 27. So we'll do an orbit of the airfield and then come in left pattern onto this end. Obviously we're too high and too fast to be doing it from where we are. unless we were looped out to the right, but I'd like to be able to see the airfield from the air first. So the numbers are easy to judge then. If it's runway 27, then 90 degrees is the reciprocal, so that's nice and easy for us. But we will go and, yeah, notice I've just corrected the directional gyro. It was massively out. So we're flying overhead the airfield. And descending. What's the airfield elevation? We did say earlier, didn't we? 8,100, so we want 9,100, so we're about 600 or 700 feet higher than we want to be at the moment, but we're just about to turn left. To 90 degrees and dropping as we go to 9,100 feet, which will be 1,000 feet above airfield elevation. And if we look out, there's the airfield alongside us. And then we'll fly towards these hills and just scoot around the hills and come back in. But we could cut it short, couldn't we? Let's start descending as we turn. A little bit of a crosswind. And we have a few levitating aeroplanes just to ruin the immersion factor. Is there an F5 or is it a T-38 supposedly over there? I've seen that model in a few different sceneries. Landing lights off, taxi lights on. Should we go and park up the other end? Oh, actually no, there's a parking space here. We can go here, can't we? There appears to be some railing in midair though, which is quite novel. And somebody with two heads. Okay. And there we go. So, if we go and jump outside the aeroplane, we can then walk away We made it. Oh dear. That was slightly stressful going over that ridge, I won't lie. But yeah, that was good fun. So if we go and have a review back of where we've been today, we started out at Erie. We flew down to the edge of the Rockies and then visited Golden, and then we turned back in towards Denver and had a look around. Then we flew back out towards Dakota Ridge along the southern side of Denver over towards Buckley Air Force Base. Then we deviated from our original route a little bit, but we ended up going back. We looked around Buckley Air Force Base because it had the radar stations. According to the live stream, this is a Space Force base, which is why they would have all the radars, I guess. Then we went and had a little look around Denver International, and then across the northern end of Denver, looking at the suburbs, then along the valleys, over the death-defying ridge here, Mount Epworth, we were near. So when we made the break across the ridge, you can see that was me when I got scared and started looking for a way across and didn't. And turned away again, and then went for a much longer route and climb over. There may have been a much lower ridge over there, look. Just looking down there. We chickened out. It would have been here, look. The ridge that we chickened out on. So what was this? This was 12... No, it's the same height, look. 12,000 feet. Or thereabouts. You know, no matter how you try to do it, it ends up being... It's just high. And then we drop down into Granby. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So that was a look at the City Update 10 with Denver this evening. I'll be back over the next few days. I think I'm going out tomorrow night, so I won't be filming tomorrow night. But we'll be back over the weekend to go and look at San Francisco and Honolulu. So I hope you enjoyed that. Do subscribe to the channel, click the like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care.